Hey guys, let me turn on my lights. All right. Everybody hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right, great. All right, so it's nice to see you all. We're here to practice some Vinyasa together. And let's see. Okay, Britt, I don't think you've practiced with me before. Is that correct? Is that right? First time doing yoga with me?
That's correct.
Okay, awesome. Welcome. So by way of understanding the way it's going to work is we'll move from easier and simpler to more difficult and complex. So if at the beginning it seems really easy, don't worry, we're going to work toward more challenging variations, more complex variations of poses. But having said that, the point is not necessarily to do everything. So at a certain point, you might find yourself kind of tapped out or not strong enough to do something, not coordinated enough, not flexible enough. Okay, so the point of the class is to go to the point where you can't really go any further, and then you want to learn to breathe and relax there. So if maybe like the first variation we do something, you already find yourself tapped out, whatever, again, whether it's flexibility or strength or endurance, whatever, then as we go through the class and maybe other people start to do more complex variations, or I start to show more complex variations, you're just going to stay with that first thing that you found kind of challenging or difficult, and you're going to learn to breathe and relax there. Okay, so I've tried to make the class so that it would challenge even a more advanced practitioner and yet be accessible to somebody who's brand new, or somebody who maybe has an injury or is not very strong or not very flexible. All right, so the point is not to be able to do everything. You don't get a reward or anything like that. We're just here to do our best, and that's really the way that I like to say it, is just always do your best. Make sure that whatever you're doing is your personal best. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Coming onto our mat, we'll begin with a little bit of yogic breathing. I'm reading a couple of books right now about the importance of the breath, and one book I'm reading so far, the gist of it is mouth breathing, bad. If I were to sum up the many chapters that I've read so far, mouth breathing is bad. Okay, so we do not want to breathe through our mouth. So we're going to keep our mouth shut throughout the class. We're going to breathe only through our nose. So let's start with that, just breathing through our nose. And then once we've established that we're going to breathe through our nose, we'll begin to deepen our breathing. So we're inhale, fill the belly first, and then the ribs, and then the upper chest. And then as we exhale, we just let that reverse, and we're pulling that belly in towards the spine. So really squeezing the air out on that exhale. And that's called complete yogic breath, or three-part yogic breathing. And in yoga, we call it Dirga. All right, that's the name of that particular breath technique. So we want to establish our Dirga, and then we will begin to add a sound. There shouldn't be any sound with Dirga. Dirga is quiet. But if we want to add another technique, we can create a sound, and the sound comes from our throat, not from our nose. So it's not a sniffing. It's like you're fogging a mirror. So it's like a hissing. It's not a sniffing sound. Okay, and that's called Ujjayi. And those are the two main techniques. The other thing is that we are going to try and make the inhale and the exhale the same length, and that's called Samavriti. So breathing nose, 3 parts, making a sound, and the inhale and the exhale are the same length. Easy to do while we're sitting here. Later in the class, I'm going to try and remind you about those things, and you'll probably find that you have either stopped doing all of them together, or maybe you've forgotten at least a few of those elements, all right? So I really want to emphasize that, yes, you might be able to physically do everything in the class. The real question is, can you do it while keeping your breath as we want it to be? The answer is probably no, if you're really honest with yourself, all right? So it's more of a breathing exercise than anything, okay? Who cares if you can get into some arm balance? It's really not that important unless you can learn to really breathe and be present there. All right, let's exhale into a tabletop position. And we'll just begin with some simple warm-ups. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, crown of the head up. Exhale, tailbone tucks, back rounds, crown of the head down. So this is a very simple but effective warm-up. It's called cat-cow. And you can do that, 3 to 6 times. Just working the stiff joints out in your spine if you got any. Generally speaking, the more times we move back and forth, the easier it gets, the more freedom we feel. Then we can bring our knees together. Take a nice deep breath and exhale the hips to one side. Inhale through center and exhale the hips to the other side. Moving side to side. Again, just giving our waist and our hip a good stretch. Again, probably 3 or 5 times, somewhere in that number, 3 or 6 times. Once you begin to feel that, more repetition doesn't really create much more change, then you've probably gotten as much as you can out of that. And then once you get to that point, you come back to neutral, tuck those toes, lift the hips, and come up and back into your first down dog. And in down dog, we can just give our legs a little stretch, give them a little love. You can roll over the toes, you can circle the ankles. And then let's come into our full expression of down dog. Fingers spread wide. Hands about shoulder width, feet hip distance, heels reaching toward the ground, and then chest actively drawing toward the toes. All right, and there's this sense of openness in our chest and our belly that we want to feel in this position. So check, see if you feel that. If you don't, see if you can take a position where you feel that. This is your first reminder about your breathing. Have you already forgot the breathing techniques as we did the warm-ups? And I don't remind you to make you feel bad. You're not a bad person if you forget. You're an average person. You're normal. Most people would forget. But you could say with yoga, we're not really interested in being normal. We're not interested in being average. So we're trying to develop an extraordinary awareness, you might say. So as we move and we do all this stuff, we want to be aware of our breath the whole time. All right, with our exhale, let's walk our feet to our hands, coming into a ragdoll. We'll dangle here. You can grab the opposite elbow. And I like having this as part of the warm-up, just sort of swaying a few times, maybe bending the knees a bit, nodding the head or shaking the head, just loosening everything up. All right. It's nice and loose. Good. And then we'll relax those arms. Inhale, roll ourselves up to standing. And there are 2 areas that we tend to hold tension unconsciously, maybe more so than other areas. And one is the face, and the other is the shoulders, face and jaw. So notice if you're, kind of making a face, and see if you can just let all the expression go out of your face. Only expression that we want to have while practicing yoga is maybe a smile. So if you want to smile at some point, go ahead and smile. But furrowing your brow, you're clenching your jaw, this kind of, oh, I'm working really hard. Oh, this is, we don't want that. Okay, so just a nice calm. Your face, you want calm. You want to look relaxed, right? Like a Buddha. Have you ever seen a statue of a Buddha? That's what the face you want to have while you're doing yoga. It doesn't matter how hard the pose is. You want to have that Buddha face on, or you can smile. Those are your two options. And then same with our shoulders. So let's just take our shoulders, we'll roll them forward, up, back, and down. Notice if there's tension there. If there is, try and loosen it up, and then back, up, forward, and down. So just a few times in each direction. Now, all that tension may not release today, but the most important thing is becoming aware of it. We cannot release tension that we're not aware of. So being aware of it is the first step to letting it go. Let's begin with a standing back bend. So we'll bring our feet together. And then on our next inhale, draw our arms up, touch palms, and let's lift that heart as we come into our first back bend. So we can keep those shoulders soft and the face soft. Keep that breath flowing. So holding your breath here doesn't help you do the pose. And you might find that it affects your breath. So see if you can even out the breath, smooth it out. Good. Let's inhale back through center. And as we exhale, we'll come into forward fold. Bend your knees deeply and place your belly against your thighs. Place the palms flat or maybe on a couple of blocks. Let your neck relax. Keep your belly on your thighs and then begin to straighten your legs. Should feel a stretch in the back of your thighs. Make that stretch intense. Again, please notice I haven't done this. I'm not lifting off my thighs. There's no need to do that. You can get plenty of stretch with your belly on your thighs. In fact, that's the best way to get the stretch. Safe for your back and a good stretch for the legs. All right, now let's inhale to half lift. Again, now we bring the belly off the thighs. Spine and legs are straight. And then as we exhale, plant those hands. And we'll step to the top of our push-up. Okay, push-ups are something we do a lot of in this style of yoga. So it's important to get them right, because if we don't, we tend to shred our shoulders up. And we want to avoid that. It's a common injury in yoga. And generally it comes from not doing our push-ups properly. Now here's the catch. What's proper for one person might not be proper for you. Okay, so if you ever have any trouble with your push-ups, I need to hear from you, or you need to talk to somebody, some teacher, all right? Because again, the way that I teach you to do it may not be appropriate for your body type, but I'll teach you the standard way. So we do not want the shoulders relaxed. The shoulder blades are against the back, so they're engaged, all right? And then we want to be careful of the hips, dumping into our back, looks like that. And then some people do this. They're escaping the work of the pose by almost going into like a down dog position. So the higher my hips get, the easier this pose is getting, right? Whereas if I'm in a down dog, I can hold this for a long, long, long time. All right, I can't hold this nearly as long because there are way more muscles engaged holding this position. All right. All right, let's drop our knees for the first push-up, and we'll really pay attention to our elbows and our arms. And take a nice deep breath as we exhale, lower down halfway, and the elbows hug the ribs. Okay, take a breath there. And with the next exhale, come the rest of the way down. Release the tops of the feet to the mat and bring your legs together, feet together. With the inhale, press into your hands, lift your head, neck, and chest off the ground. All right, and this is called Cobra or Bhujangasana. Exhale, lower back down, and then tuck your toes, press back to tabletop first, and then lift the hips back into a down-facing dog. Okay. Good, and let's take a couple of breaths there. Just, again, check in, make sure we're breathing properly. All right, so let's do another one. You might do the whole class like that. That's perfectly fine. But like I said, we'll add some difficulty and complexity to that. Let's inhale to our toes, and as we exhale, make our way to the front edge of the mat. You can step, jump, or float there. And then you'll inhale up to standing. So standing back bend, just like we did before. And then this time, I'd like you to grab your right wrist with your left hand. And then as you exhale, send your hips to the right as you pull your arm to the left. And you're trying to stretch right here. All right, now a common mistake in this posture is that this shoulder begins to roll forward like that. So try and keep those shoulders stacked. Let's inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. This is called Ardha, which means half, and Chandrasana means moon. All right, so we're stretching that left waist, breathing. Good. We inhale back to our standing back bend and exhale to our forward fold. Inhale to the half lift and exhale, top of the push-up. All right, so your choice, knees up or down, but what's important with push-ups, the most important thing with push-ups is the arms. So if I have my knees up, but my arms are a mess, then it doesn't count. It's not going to do any good. If my knees are down, but my arms are right, then I will get stronger and I will also do the pose safely. That's what's important. So let's take a deep breath. We're going to exhale halfway down, elbows hug those ribs. Then inhale, straighten the arms and legs. Knees are off the ground. Legs are active. This is called up dog, but you can repeat the last back bend, which was cobra. And then we will exhale and come right back into the downward dog from there, if you're able. If not, use that transition I taught you last time, the tabletop. All right, let's learn one more variation. Inhale to the toes and exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of your mat. And then from there, inhale all the way up to standing back bend. And exhale as you pull yourself over to the left, stretching your right waist. Inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale back to center and exhale to chair pose, like you're sitting back in a seat. Now let's soften those shoulders. And again, we can let all the expression go out of our face. Clenching the jaw is not going to help you do this pose. There's a tendency in this posture to do this, which is kind of like folding in half. Let's not do that. We're going to keep our torso up and back, our arms raised and energized. Breathing, right? It's all about the breath. Controlling that breath, slowing it down, which allows us to control the nervous system. Let's take a deep breath here. As we exhale, we release into forward fold. Let's inhale to half lift and exhale, if you can, right to the bottom of a push-up. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And if you're able, exhale, do a push-up on your way out to down dog, adding more intensity and difficulty if it's appropriate. Good. So now we're going to move on to some sun B variations and add some complexity to our practice. So let's inhale to our toes. We'll exhale to the front edge of the mat. Let's inhale up to standing. And then as we exhale, we'll sit back in our chair and twist to the right with open arms. There's a few things I want to point out here. One is my hips are facing forward. My chest is facing to the right, and my fingertips are reaching out, okay? I'm going to look back at my right thumb. Good. Let's inhale back up to standing, and we exhale to the other side. Now, I could twist a lot deeper if I let my hips move, but I'm not doing that. Hips are facing forward, and I just twist as far as I can with the hips facing forward. Good. Inhale to standing back bend and exhale to your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, or maybe you do this pose, Bakasana, crow pose here. We learned this one last week. Exhale, bottom of the push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale back to down dog. Now you're going to see me start to skip push-ups. And that's because if I keep doing all the vinyasas throughout the class, I'm not able to teach the class anymore. You see, you should be breathing in a very specific way. And when you teach, you have to talk and breathe through. That's not how you should be breathing while you're doing yoga. Okay, so what that means is I have to demo for you guys online, just kind of the way that it is, but it's not really optimal from a teaching perspective. Ideally, I would just be walking around the room and telling you what to do, not actually showing you most of the time. Okay, but this is just teaching online. It's a necessary thing to do, but I will not be doing the entire class. It's not the point of it. Okay, let's go ahead and move along. Bring our feet together. And inhale the right leg up and back. All right, now I want you to pay attention to my right leg. The foot is flexed, the toes, knee, and hip are pointing down. That leg is lifted, it's straight, but my right hip is level with my left hip. So common mistakes look like this, pointing the toes instead of flexing them. Look like this, bending the knee, or keeping this leg down, not really lifting it up, or lifting this hip up in an attempt to lift the leg higher. Okay, so check yourself for all of those common mistakes. Take a nice deep breath, exhale, lunge the foot between the hands, drop the back knee down. Make sure your right heel is under your right knee and your hips are as far forward as they can go. And then inhale, raise your torso up and back into Anjaneyasana. All right, we want to feel stretch at the front of the left hip. If you want, stay here. If you want to take it a step further, exhale your hands to your heart and take a twist to the right, okay? So you're twisting to the right. All right, if that's too much, just return to where you were a moment ago. If you want to add more, lift the back leg up. And if you want even more, try binding your right leg with your arms. I don't have long enough arms to do that. It has nothing to do with flexibility. It has everything to do with proportions, all right? So it's not that I'm not flexible, it's that I don't have long arms. All right, from there, let's drop that knee down. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, bottom of our push-up. Again, I'm gonna skip the vinyasa, but I encourage you to do it. All right, side two. Feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. All right, now notice if for some reason this always comes up in this posture, notice if you're sort of phoning this in. Maybe you've had a long week or a long day and you're kind of thinking, oh, well, he can't see me, so I'm not going to lift that leg that high. But I always like to say you get out of your practice what you put into it. So if you phone in your practice, when we're done today, you're going to be like, well, that was okay, I guess. I don't know. But if you really throw yourself into it, you're going to find that it creates a powerful shift for you. All right, deep breath in. Let's exhale, lunge, and we'll inhale up into Anjaneyasana. Okay, check. Make sure you feel the stretch here, front of your right hip. Then if you want to take it a step further, exhale to your twist, and then inhale, lift that back leg up. And again, it might be appropriate for you to bind. It might not be. Try and keep stretching the front of that right hip. So you might have to sink that hip down a little more to feel that stretch. That's okay. All right, let's exhale that knee down. Inhale our arms up and exhale to the bottom of our push-up, making our way back to the downward dog. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look at our first boat. So we inhale to our toes. We exhale to a seat. Okay, in Ashtanga, they jump through to a seat. So if you know how to do that, that's a beautiful way to transition to your seat, okay? All right, so we're gonna take a look at various versions of the boat pose. So the first thing I want you to do is have your feet on the ground, knees bent. They can be together or hip distance. Let's hold the knees for now, and let's really straighten our spine. So this is a very important part of boat pose, is a straight spine. Here's the catch, is we want the spine to remain straight as we lean back. The tendency as we lean back is to do this. This is absolutely incorrect. So we're lifting the navel up, All right, we're lifting the navel up. These muscles are engaging to keep our back straight, okay? All right, now there are 3 positions for the arms. One is here. Okay, you can do that. You might be able to go back a little further like that. Another is here. And then the final one is arms parallel with the mat. Okay, so you choose. Even though it's the most basic version of boat, if you're doing it right, you should feel some challenge. You should start to feel some muscles in your trunk, in your back, in the front of your hips, fatigue. All right, let's cross those ankles and we exhale to the bottom of our push-up, make our way back to down dog. All right, from downward dog, let's inhale to our toes. We're going to exhale, step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. Let's inhale all the way up to our standing back bend. And we'll exhale and twist with open arms to the right side. Just like we did earlier, inhale back up. Exhale, twisting to the left side. So inhale back up, and we'll exhale and twist a little deeper to the right. Okay, so notice that my hands are between my elbows. With the exhale, I'm going to drop my hips down deeper into the pose, try and straighten out my spine. Inhale, I reach to the crown of my head, so nice long torso. And then as I exhale, I really push that right shoulder back as I look up and back. Good, so I call this the prayer twist, all right? So inhale back up. And let's exhale to prayer twist on the other side. And let's do that same thing. We drop those hips, extend the spine, and push the shoulder back as we look up. Good. Inhale, let's come all the way up and back. And exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, half lift, crow, or maybe handstand pose. And we exhale, bottom of our push-up. Again, I'm skipping. Coming back to down dog. I encourage you not to, because again, you can take a break anytime that you want. I can't. All right. Go ahead and bring our feet to touch. Inhale, right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Let's bend that knee. Let's make some big, fat circles in the air with our knee, like we're drawing circles. Do a few in one direction, a few in the other direction. Big and wide, like you have a crayon on your knee. You're drawing circles. Good. Take a deep breath and exhale as you lunge. Inhale to Anjaneyasana as we did last time. And then exhale, hands down, rock the hips back over your left knee and straighten your right leg completely. Foot flexes, toe and knee point straight up. Inhale, extend through your crown, and exhale as you fold over the right thigh, stretching right back here. All right, let's breathe into that stretch, close our eyes. You could have your hands on blocks if you need them. And if you don't feel stretch here, take a full split, but fold forward. All right, when you take a split and you come up, you get more of the hip flexors. When you come forward, you get more hamstrings, and that's what we want. All right, let's rock forward now. On our exhale, we inhale, torso up and back, and exhale, bottom of the push-up, making our way back to down dog. Okay, side 2, so feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. All right, good. We'll bend that knee, and let's make some big fat circles in the air. Really open up that hip there. Good. All right, do a few in each direction. As wide as you can safely. Good. Take a deep breath and exhale, lunge. Inhale, torso up, and exhale to what we call half triangle, Ardha Chandrasana, folding over the left leg. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Good. Exhale those hips forward. Inhale, up and back on Vinyasa, and exhale, bottom of your push-up, taking a Vinyasa back to down dog. Okay, let's take another look at boat pose. We'll inhale to our toes, and as we exhale, make our way to our seat. Okay, let's again do our most basic boat pose first. Let's make sure we get that right. And again, the straight spine is super important. So I'm not rounding my back here. I'm pulling my navel up. All right, and then let's see if we can lift the legs so that they are parallel with the ground. So I have a little V here, right? And then these legs are parallel with the ground. Now again, I can have my hands here behind me, or I can extend them like this, also parallel with the ground. Now, are you clenching your jaw? Because it's not going to help you hold the pose. Furrowing your brow. Are your shoulders coming up like this? That's not going to help you do the pose. So just relax. Relax not just your body, but your mind. Notice your breathing. Slow it down. Good. Let's go ahead and cross our ankles and exhale bottom of our push-up, making our way back to down dog. All right, let's inhale to our toes. As we exhale, make our way to the front edge of our mat. Let's inhale up to our standing back bend. And we will exhale as we twist to the right. Inhale back up, chair twist left. Good, inhale back up. And exhale, prayer twist to the right. Good, from here, let's inhale, open up our arms. And then as you exhale, bring your hands shoulder width apart. Keep the contact of your left arm and your right leg. Drop down onto your hands, look forward, not down, and slowly shift weight off of your feet onto your arms. And that's called side crow. Now, as I said at the beginning, it doesn't matter whether you can do it or not. What is important is to try and to do your best. You also want to be careful. So if you've never done anything like that before, you do want to be careful about face planting. You don't want to hit your head or anything like that if you can avoid it. But you also don't want to be too careful. You don't want to be too fearful, too afraid. You want to take some calculated and careful risks when you practice, all right? Very calculated, very careful, just sort of pushing a little bit beyond what's easy and comfortable. All right, let's inhale all the way back up to standing. And we exhale to prayer twist in the other direction. Inhale, open up those arms. And this is called Parivrtta, side crow. Take your time. Okay, I'm going to give you a few seconds to work on this, to try this, all right? Because we're going to try and build upon that. So being able to do that is helpful because we'll add difficulty. Now, again, if that's challenging, don't worry, you'll get another chance to do it again later. And that's what I recommend is you keep practicing. Practice is really just failing over and over again in a controlled way until eventually you succeed. So that word failure in our culture has a very negative connotation. I don't see it that way. Really, failure means learning if we really look at it the right way. Okay, let's go ahead and inhale our way up to standing back bend. That should feel good as a release. We're going to exhale to our forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of our push-up. We're making our way back to our downward dog. Okay, in downward dog, let's bring those feet to touch. We'll inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee to our right arm. Touch it. Inhale, up and back. Exhale to the center. Touch your nose, chin, or forehead. Inhale, and exhale, touch the opposite arm. Good. Kick the foot out, drop the back heel. Inhale the left arm up into the 12 o'clock position. So your arms are like a clock reading 6, right? One arm is up, one arm is down. Hips are lifted, gaze is up. Breath is slow. Good. Exhale, sweep that left arm down. Inhale, the leg up and back. Exhale and lunge. Drop the back heel and inhale to a warrior one. Now, we're not interested in warrior one except as a transition, so I'm not going to go over the alignment. Let's exhale, hands to the hips, and inhale, straighten the front knee. Good. Now, this is called Parivrtta. We're going to do it several times today, so I want you to really get it into your bones. We'll step the back foot forward enough to square off the hips. What does that mean? That means if I had two headlights on the front of my hips, those headlights will be pointing straight ahead, not over in this direction, which is very common. So I'm pulling that left hip forward, pulling the right hip back, headlights forward. Legs are straight, heels are on the ground. So even if I have a really narrow stance, if that's all I can do, then that's what I can do. All right? We don't want to cheat it. That's not going to get us anywhere. All right? All right. Then we inhale our arms up, right thumb over left. And as we exhale, we hinge from the hips, keeping our arms and our legs and our spine straight. This is called Parivrtta. Coming all the way down. Then once my hands reach, I split the hands apart to either side of my foot. Again, I can place them on blocks. I inhale, really lengthen through the crown of my head. And as I exhale, I fold into this pose. And I'm stretching back here, the hamstrings. Good. So inhale, bend that front knee, and exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to down dog. All right, let's bring our feet to touch. We're going to inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee to the left arm. Inhale that leg up and back. Exhale to the center. Inhale. And exhale to the opposite side. Kick the foot out, drop the back heel, and then inhale that right arm up into the 12 o'clock position. So the arms together are like a clock reading 6 o'clock. Hips are lifted, gaze is up. Good, exhale that hand down. Inhale the leg up and back. Exhale, lunge. Drop the back heel, inhale, warrior. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Now, you almost always have to step the back foot in, at least some, unless you're cheating. All right? If you don't have to, that's fine, but most people will need to do that. Let's inhale, arms up, left thumb over right. And exhale, we hinge from the hips, keeping all that length in our spine as we come down. Then once we reach, hands come apart, and we really fold into that stretch in the back of the left thigh. All right, I feel it up into my waist and my hip as well. So it doesn't necessarily just need to be in the back of the thigh. All right, inhale, bend that knee, and exhale, bottom of our push-up, making our way back to a downward facing dog. Okay, so now we get to our classic Navasana, or boat pose. We'll inhale to the toes, we exhale to our seats. Okay, good. Let's go through the different stages because they're a good setup for doing the pose properly. So again, spine is straight, I'm leaning back. From there, I can lift my legs up, right? Back is still straight. And then to do the classic Navasana, I actually straighten my legs. And again, I have this V shape here. It's not a U, it's not rounding, right? Pulling my navel up. Okay, and then I can take my arms here. I can also take them here. Right? Yeah, and of course, you can still hold the legs. You can still have the hands behind you. Good. So breathing here. Face, relax. Breath is still deep, rhythmic, and slow. Good. Let's cross those ankles, exhale, bottom of the push-up, and we make our way back to down dog. From our down dog, let's inhale to our toes and exhale to the front edge of our mat. We inhale all the way up to our standing back bend and exhale as we twist, open right. Good. Inhale all the way back up and exhale, twist to the left. Good. Inhale back up. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Inhale, open the arms. And exhale to side crow. Then inhale, straighten both legs. This is called Eka Pada Koundinyasana, two-legged Koundinyas pose. Koundinya, I don't even know if I'm saying his name properly, but he was a Buddhist saint, so this pose is named after him. All right, give it the old college try. Again, do your best. Be honest with yourself what that looks like. And then let's inhale all the way back up. And we exhale, prayer twist to the left this time. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, hands to the ground. Look forward, not down. Lift those legs. Inhale and exhale, straighten the legs. Okay, but keep the legs together for now. We'll look at the variation where the legs split apart in a moment. A lot of times when I teach in studios, students jump ahead to other variations, but they don't realize they're skipping over postures, right? It's not always about doing the hardest pose or the most difficult or the most advanced variations. Sometimes we want to do things that are easier or have different kinds of challenges, right? It's harder in some ways to keep the legs together. All right, let's inhale all the way up and back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of our push-up. Good. All right, so moving along, we'll bring our feet together. Let's inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee, right arm. Boom. Inhale, lift it. Exhale, center, touch. Good. Inhale. Exhale, opposite arm, touch. Kick it out. Drop the back heel. Inhale, fallen triangle. Now, exhale, hips down. All right. Bend the knees to right angles and drop your forearms to the ground. This is a twist. To take the twist a little deeper, bring your left shoulder to the ground, palm up. Take your right palm to your left palm. Press one into the other to push the right shoulder deeper into the twist. Breathe into any tight spaces that you find. Slow that breath and deepen it. Good. Let's come back to our hands. Straighten those legs. Okay, your left leg should be more or less in the center of your mat. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale that hand to the ground. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, lunge. Inhale to warrior one. Good. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, step the back foot in. Square the hips off. Inhale, arms up, right thumb over left. And exhale, hinge from the hips. These are all things that we've already done. So I'm beginning to assume that you know how to do them properly, okay? Good. Now that we're here, hands on the ground or two blocks. Inhale, extend to the crown of your head, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the left hand under your left shoulder. And then inhale the right arm up again into that 6 o'clock position, rotated triangle pose. All right, nice deep twist. That's why we did that twist on the floor a moment ago. We're trying to really release any resistance that's left there in those torso muscles. Legs are straight, heels are on the ground, gaze is up. Down, bend that knee, and Vinyasa back to downward dog. Okay, other side. So feet touch. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, left knee, left arm. Inhale. Exhale to the center. Inhale. Exhale to the opposite arm. Kick it out. Drop the back heel. Inhale, the hand up. And exhale, hips down, legs straight to start. Then bend both knees to right angles. And then bring your forearms to the ground. Okay, again, this might be plenty for you. If you feel, an intense stretch, then you're good. If not, right shoulder to the ground, right palm up, left palm onto right palm, right ear to the ground. All right, let's return our hands to the ground, straighten our legs. And again, try and make sure that this right leg is more or less in the center of your mat. It's not like over there, all right? Then we inhale, raise up to fallen triangle. Exhale that hand back down. Inhale, left leg up and back. And we exhale and lunge. Drop the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, step the back foot in. Inhale, arms up, left thumb over right. And exhale, hinging from the hips. Now you don't have to, if you're breathing slower than me, that's fine. Okay? That's fine. It might take you longer to get here. That's totally fine. All right, and from here, inhale, lengthen, extend to the crown of the head. Exhale, plant that right hand to the ground. Inhale, left arm up. Now we're twisting and standing. We don't get maybe as deep a twist because we're not using the ground for leverage, but we have the added challenge of having to stand here. Good. Exhale that hand down, bend that knee, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to the down dog. Okay, so let's inhale to our toes. We're going to exhale to our seats. Let's take another look at boat pose, Navasana. Again, let's build it up from the ground up. Most basic shape. So here we are with our feet on the ground. And again, you might still be doing the same variation. All right, if you're like, gosh, I just can't get my back straight, then you're just working on that. Maybe you're having your hands here. You're just trying to see how you can keep that navel lifted. Next level of difficulty, lift those legs. Then we have a classic boat. Okay, and now we're going to look at something that's called the low boat or canoe. So we lower back down. Very hard to keep the spine straight here. So you can see I'm rounding a bit. It's pretty much impossible for me to do without a little bit of rounding my upper body, but as best as I can. Now I'm not laying down. My back is not touching the ground. My thighs are not touching the ground, okay? And then if I want more, I can inhale up, or sorry, inhale down, exhale to this boat, inhale low boat, and exhale to the second variation, right? So I can turn it into sit-ups if I want. All right, good. Let's go ahead and cross those ankles. Exhale, bottom of our push-up. Make our way back to the downward dog. Okay, from downward dog, let's go ahead and inhale to our toes between our hands. And as we exhale, we step, jump, or float to the front edge of our mat. From here, we're going to inhale all the way up to standing, and we exhale as we twist to the right. Good. Inhale back up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Good. Inhale back up. Exhale, prayer twist to the right. Inhale, open up those arms. And exhale, maybe you're, for the third time, trying crow pose, side crow. Maybe you can straighten the legs this time. And then if you can, take the top leg back for Eka Pada Koundinyasana. All right? So challenging arm balance. It's got a twist in it, a split, and you're balancing on your arms. So there's a lot going on. All right, let's inhale all the way up to standing. And we exhale as we twist over to the left side. Inhale, open up those arms. And we exhale to our best, whatever that is. Maybe it's just having the hands on the ground. Maybe it's side crow. Maybe it's legs straight. Maybe it's the legs apart. All right. Let's take one more breath there. And then we'll inhale all the way up. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, bottom of the push-up, taking a vinyasa back to down dog. If you find yourself fatigued at this point, you can, of course, skip vinyasas. All right, beautiful. So let's bring our feet to touch here. We'll inhale that right leg up and back. Bend the knee, open up the hip, and if you like, flip your dog over. Move this arm in the air, just really working that shoulder joint. And then we'll take a deep breath. Exhale, hand to the ground, flip between hands. Again, this should be familiar. We inhale to warrior one, and exhale our hands to the hips. Inhale, straighten that front knee. Exhale, step that back foot in. Good. Inhale, arms up, right thumb over left, and exhale as we hinge from the hips. Coming all the way forward and down. Good. Then inhale to our rotated triangle. Exhale that hand down. Bend the front knee. Shift weight onto that front leg and straighten it. Then lift the back leg up, straightening it, just like in three-legged dog, right? Toes, knee, and hip point down. Good. Inhale, extend through the crown of your head. Lengthen. And then exhale, plant that left hand under your shoulder and inhale the right arm up into rotated balancing half moon. All right. So again, those arms are in a 6 o'clock position. Leg is lifted. Breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. We have that Buddha face on, right? That nice, relaxed, calm, meditative face. Shoulders are soft. Breath is deep, rhythmic, and slow. Good. Exhale, bottom your push-up. Make your way back to the down dog. All right, side two. Inhale, left leg up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Flip your dog. Can move around a little bit. Good. Deep breath in and exhale, lunge. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, the back foot in. Inhale, left thumb over right. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Good. Then inhale to rotated triangle. Exhale that hand down. Bend the knee, lift the back leg up. Inhale through the crown. Exhale that right hand to the ground. Inhale, left arm up. Follow with your gaze. So try and look at that left thumb. Keep that right leg lifting. Good. Exhale, bottom of your push-up, making your way back to the down dog. Okay, from here, let's just give our hip flexors a little stretch. Inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, right knee toward right wrist. Drop those hips down. The right foot is alongside the hip, and we'll raise the torso up and back, stretching the front of the left hip. This is called half seal. All right, like the yin posture, seal pose. It's a hip flexor stretch. If you want more, you might be able to bring this foot in and stretch the front of the thigh as well. Good. Other side. So inhale up and exhale to down dog. Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale the knee toward the left wrist. Drop those hips down and back. Torso up and back. So if you have blocks, you might want to use them. The more your torso comes up and back, the more your hips are down, the deeper the stretch, the front of the right hip. And again, for a little bit more, we'll bend this back knee, bring that foot in, stretch it. Good, release. Inhale, left leg up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale to child. Come on down. Swing our hands back alongside our heels. Breathe into the low back. Good. From there, let's come forward onto our belly. Arms out at the sides, palms down. And then inhale, we lift everything up for locust pose, back bend. Try and lift the thighs, try and lift the upper abdomen. Good, exhale, come on down. And then gently press back to child again. Good, inhale, let's sit up. I'm gonna cross those ankles. Bring our legs out in front of us. Bring our arms out as well as we inhale. And as we exhale, let's just gradually roll back. Once we're on our back, let's bring those legs in, give them a nice squeeze. Make a few circles with our knees. Do a few in each direction. Good. And then let's extend our arms out like a T. And we'll drop both knees to the left as we look over to the right. And let's let the breath be natural now. So no more sound, no more three-part breathing, just letting the breath find its own depth and rhythm. Inhale those knees back to center. We'll exhale them over to the other side. Again, remember to look away from the knees. Good, let's inhale the knees back to center. We'll grab the soles of the feet and we can straighten the legs one at a time or both together. Pull the legs apart, pull them overhead, right? Roll around on our back a bit. Just loosen everything up. And when you're ready, relax, come into Shavasana on your back. Arms and legs are straight, splayed apart, palms are up, head is centered, chin is tucked in slightly, eyes are closed. Okay, I'm going to leave you to do your relaxation on your own for the next 6 minutes is what I recommend, at least. If you want to do longer, feel free to do longer if you've got the time. I find many people are finding the pandemic very stressful, and yoga gives us many tools to deal with stress, anxiety, things like that. So if you find that these classes aren't enough for you, you want more, you need more help, reach out, let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you or help you. You can get my email from Leanne, or you can go to my website, mahapathayoga.com, contact me there. All right. If you can, join me for yin yoga, which is next. Very different, very relaxing comparatively. And if you can't, I hope to see you next week at the same time. Have a lovely Shavasana, and I will talk to you soon. See you soon. Thanks. Bye.